Okay, on this video, you guys, I'm going to show you guys how to make a stealth weedless squid rig. We're going to be using 50-pound Yo-Zuri disappearing pink fluorocarbon leader, a 6-inch squid, a 7/0 J-hook, a barrel swivel, some crimps and beads. But these are really good on weedy days to pull. You can cast and reel these. They work good at the reef. They work good trolling. You know, real weedy days, or if you want to go right up through the edge of a busted up weed line where most things are going to catch a lot of weeds, these won't. Reason being, we poke a hole down through this. We have no hard edges for any weeds to catch anywhere on these. We make sure the skirts really grip our line, and these tend to work really, really good in certain situations. So, what you guys are going to need: a 1/2-inch steel sinker. They say it's an egg shape. It's kind of a bullet. It's in between a bullet and an egg. You're going to need one of those. You're going to need a O'Shaughnessy Mustad 7/0 J-hook, or whatever size you prefer. I know to space out on this 6-inch squid, okay, with my crimps and hooks I'm using, I need 7 6mm beads. We got to have our fluorocarbon leader. We've got our crimps, our crimpers. We have our pledge that we're going to use as lube to get the sinker inside the squid without stretching it all out. So let's get to it. I'll show you guys how to make one of these babies. Okay, once you guys have everything out, you know, get yourself, I use a bait needle. Okay, it's fairly sharp. It's a good size around. Don't snip this off and make a big hole in it, you know, like you see a lot of rigs done. Find perfectly center and ever so slightly, you know, don't stick yourself, but send that needle right down through that. Okay, and just let it rest in there for a minute so it kind of stretches that out. Okay, then we're going to take our pledge, give ourselves a little bit of a puddle here that we can dip a Q-tip into. Okay, we're going to go ahead and yank that needle out. Put some pledge on this Q-tip, invert the squid, the legs all out of the way. Just go right in here with this Q-tip with the pledge on it and lube that up a little bit. A little bit on the sinker too. Just rub it around. Make sure that sets in there without any legs going in. It's easy to trap a leg under that. And then just take your thumb, push it right up in that squid, okay? Kind of look at it this way. The tip looks like it's too far to the left, so I'm just going to kind of wiggle it around. That looks good. Flip it upside down. Look in the bottom. And as you can see, we're way off center, okay? So I got to get in here and adjust this. I just got to pull the squid around, work it, and keep moving it. Okay, and then eventually, you'll get right dead center like that. Okay, that's pretty good. A little bit more. Okay, there we go. Now we're right dead center. Nothing's lopsided up here, you know what I mean? The tip isn't off to one side with the egg sticking out. This is what we want right here. Now I'm going to take and go ahead and put this needle back in here to help keep that open. Now I'm going to go ahead, and I like to use 4 feet. Why 4 feet? You can go longer if you want, but 4 feet will allow me to be able to hook this rig down to my little hook clip on my reel and tighten it up and drive back in without having to take the rig off the pole. If you make an 8-foot leader and you have a 6.5-foot rod, well, you can see your problem. You're not going to be able to reel the slack out of it to get back in. So 6 feet is what I like to do. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6 feet. Okay. Snip it off. That's it. Now what we're going to do is we need a 1.0mm crimp. On with our crimp. Okay. Then I'm using chafe gear. This is I don't know what size this is. It's the smallest stuff I have. And for my loops, I know from the tip of my finger to the first crease, That's about the length I want for my loop. Just kind of go with what you prefer. Find yourself a little mark on your finger or something that you can quickly gauge it. Okay, on goes your crimp, on goes your chafe gear, on goes your hook. We're going to send that fluoro back up through our crimp. Okay. Got to hunt my lighter down now. Bear with me. Okay, now see, I've got extra up through that crimp. I'm protecting this main line, and then I'm just going to ever so gently burn that into a ball. Okay, you see there's a little ball on there, and that prevents that from pulling back through this crimp. Say your crimp isn't quite perfect, maybe it's a little loose, whatever, that could save you. Okay, so there we go. We'll go ahead and make this crimp. Make sure you're using the correct slot in your crimps. Don't over crimp, don't under crimp. Too loose, your line is going to slip. I always like to pull on it. Okay, and you can see that that slipped a little bit right there. So I'm going to pull that back tight. Come back in and go a little tighter with my crimp. Okay. I'm going to check it again. Okay, now we're good and tight. Okay, and like I said, I don't like to overdo it because it'll cause you trouble. You're going to smash that line down. And when you get a fish, you've got a weak spot. So now we're going to thread on 7 6mm beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All the way down. Now what these beads do is they keep that hook spaced down in that squid, so our hook stays right at the tail end of them legs. Okay, now after we've got this far, grab our little squiddy, get some saliva on the end of this. Okay, yank that needle out and go ahead and send that fluoro right up through that squid. And you're going to have to poke around and frig around a little bit, especially if it's bent like this is. But I tell you what, making these good and tight like that, okay, you can see how that grips that fluoro nice and tight. There's no hard edge for anything to grab on right there as far as grass or seaweed. Okay, careful pulling it down because your legs like to get tangled up like this. Okay, so draw it down slow. Make sure your legs are not underneath your beads. Okay. And that's what we've got. Okay. I like my hook right at the end. Some people would prefer their skirt up a little more. Whatever you prefer. You know, add a couple beads if you want your hook down more. That's all. Some people like it like that. Just add 2 more of them beads and you'll be down there. Me, I like the skirt ending with the hook. So there's that. Okay. Now we're going to finish up the far end. And it's up to you. Some people don't like chafe gear on the very upper end. I myself do. I put a small piece so it makes a small loop, doesn't make any bubbles. Again, I know I have 50-pound fluoro, so I am going to want to use an 80-pound barrel swivel. The 80 pounds I have are very small. Okay, it's a Spro swivel, and it's stronger than my fluoro. So if we get hooked on bottom, my terminal tackle ain't breaking. This is going to break. Everything else is coming back to me. So real simple here. Grab your crimp. 1.0 mm. Slide it on. On goes your chafe gear. Okay, take your fluoro back through your crimp, just like we did on the hook side. Pull it up, protect your main line. Melt a little ball if you want. I always touch the back too and flatten it out. that's where it's going to come in contact with this other line. I don't want it pushing this line over necessarily because it's got a big ball. So I just flatten out that back side of that, but it still won't let it pull back through. Okay, it's good to do that. I like that. Okay, it's a real good tip to do and holds up real well. So don't forget to do that. And like I say, if you don't just want a loop, if you're like me and want to throw a barrel swivel on there, it's the same process. Barrel swivel just goes over the chafe gear. And of course, you just do the same as you would without the barrel. Back up through, protect the main line, melt it down, touch the back. That one is a mess. You gotta be careful with the fluoro because it'll burn on you. There we go. So back, pull it down, we'll adjust everything over. Draw that through. And I like to put my fingers there and I'm gripping the line back here and I'm pulling, okay? That way it keeps all this tight in here. I don't want all that loose floating around on me. Everything nice and tight. And I always like to rotate my crimp. I crimp it once, spin it 180, and then squeeze it down again. And always pull on it. Make sure it is cinched down. If not, come back. And there you have it, okay? That would be our 6-inch Stealth Weedless Squid Rig. You can make these very inexpensive, okay? You can get these squids off eBay, 100 of them for like 30 bucks in the 6-inch lengths. Hooks, if you buy them bulk, they're cheap. The beads I got off some bead barn. Again, just Googled beads, and you're looking for a 6, 8, 10 millimeter beads. You know, again, all preference. But I found them beads, 1,000 beads, for $2.49 with free shipping. So you can really buy, you know, it's a bead tin is where I got them. Okay? And I mean, I just grabbed all kinds of different colors of them just to have on hand. But there you go. Okay, want to take it a step further? Go ahead with an 1.25 inch willow leaf blade. Pop it right on the end of that hook. Okay, and these really do add some flair to your lure. I mean, versus with or without it. I mean, when I go down the Keys fishing, we always have more hits on the lures that have these. But again, just rotate it around over that barb, and you're going to spin it until you find the part of your split ring that only has one piece of wire, like that right there. And put that single wire over that barb, and it will stretch and pop right on. And now it's never coming off. So there you guys have it. Your 6-inch Stealth Weedless Squid Rig. Hope you guys liked the video. Smash that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. Follow along. I'm just getting started here, but we're going to put out a bunch of videos of all things DIY. We'll teach you how to do it better than bought. Appreciate it, guys.